It's an assassination game where you don't have to kill anyone, a free-form experience that exists only in linear levels, and a cartoonish world where nothing is ever less than deadly serious. Dishonored is a mysterious game, one that mixes ideas and mechanics freely with the aim of giving the player a dizzying amount of freedom in its world. But will this lead to a muddy and incoherent mess, or an experience as crisp as its stylized visuals suggest? In some ways, Dishonored can be unpicked with some simple game designer maths. Take Harvey Smith, a designer on classic stealth game Thief: Deadly Shadows, add Raf Colantonio, responsible for first-person stabber Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, and finish it all off with Viktor Antonov, the man behind Half-Life 2's iconic City 17. Total them all up, and you have Dishonored, a first-person, free-form stealth game with some striking art direction. These kind of collaborations may seem more common than ever in today's gaming market, but few are as exciting as this one. That's because, as individuals, this creative team has produced undeniably unique and innovative games that, while not all reaching their full potential, always offered something worth experiencing. But how does Dishonored unite these different elements?
And everyone thinks you're the killer. But we know what really happened, don't we?
From what we've played and seen, Dishonored's core gameplay is most similar to Thief: Deadly Shadows. Stalking through free-form missions, eavesdropping on guards, and even the golden glow on items are all taken from Garrett's dark and mysterious adventures. This can only be a good thing, as Thief's stealth is a tense and tactical affair, requiring careful planning and rewarding experimentation. What Dishonored has that Thief didn't is a ridiculous suite of powers. Teleporting from cover to cover, stopping time to dodge bullets, possessing a fish and sneaking in through a drain. Yep, Dishonored's unique power combo turns stealth into a set of madcap experiments, allowing for plenty of player expression. Add to this the fact that these powers are chosen and specialized during your playthrough, and you have a game that pays a surprising amount of attention to how you want to play. Even if that involves stabbing everyone in sight. Yes, Dishonored has a first-person combat mechanic that, for fans of Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, will seem very familiar. It's been simplified since then, but the thrill of staring at an enemy over your blade is still present and correct. This combat, just like the stealth, benefits hugely from Dishonored's power set. We've seen aggressive wind blasts that knock guards off roofs, swarms of deadly rats summoned from the ground, and much more between. And when the game's stilt-legged soldiers, the tall boys, make an appearance, things become pretty spectacular. For fans of Valve's brilliant Half-Life 2, and who isn't, these long-legged terrors will remind them of that game's signature enemy, the Striders. That's because both are the creations of Viktor Antonov, an art director who specializes in combining the real with the imaginary. Much like other worlds he's created, Dishonored's city of Dunwall is a resolutely real and lived-in place. In the grip of a terrible plague, it's loosely based on Victorian London and has the mix of splendour and squalor you would expect from such an inspiration. But what makes it even more striking is the heavy stylization that gives its characters a sharp-edged graphic style and has white stone buildings basking in cool sunlight. It certainly would be difficult to mistake Dishonored for another game.
My mark. Consider it a gift.
Perhaps that's what makes Dishonored so exciting. Despite spending this whole preview comparing it to other titles, none of these games can quite match it for sheer individuality. It's a game that wants the player to experiment, to play with the systems it's put in place. All it needs to do now is offer a compelling enough story for players to become lost in its world. All that's been revealed is a bare-bones tale of Corvo, the Empress's bodyguard who was framed for her assassination. Out for revenge, he's gifted dark powers by a figure known as the Outsider. The rest, you'll have to wait to find out. But we get the feeling Dishonored is a game worth waiting for. Unique, beautiful, and liberating, you may well be looking at the year's most intriguing game. One thing's for sure, Dishonored certainly isn't going to go quietly.